I was running until I wasn't. My hospital stay would have cost nearly $48,000, even with insurance. But with VA, I'll pay zero. And VA is the best, most affordable healthcare in America for veterans like me. Knowing that my family is waiting at home and a surprise medical bill isn't, that's good for my heart. My service was then, my benefits are now. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune in to Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
What's the key to the Gopher basketball team?
They got a lot of talent. Richard Coffey's son, Amir Coffey, was a national recruit and decided to stay home.
Yeah.
Kid from Hopkins. He's a sophomore. He's really good. Nate Mason was a good player. He got suspended for a few games there at the end of the 15-16 team, but he's a senior now. He's a good player. Reggie Lynch, he transferred from Illinois State. Not much of an offensive player, but he's a huge body. He's a Dyna kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Lynch's nephew, right? Kevin Lynch's nephew, I believe he is, yes. And then they got the freshman who, Jelly Bean or Jelly Jam or whatever the hell his name is, Jelly Stone.
Jam.
Jelly Stone, whatever his name is. He's the kid. He was the best player in New York.
Wow.
And he came out here, and we're hoping everything works out in that area.
You're hoping.
Yeah, we're hoping. He's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not starting yet. But then Jordan Murphy, who was a really good freshman on that horrible team, but he's the only good player they had, really, for the 15-16 team. Last year, first month, 6 weeks, he and Lynch didn't know how to play together, and he got to be really good, and now he's been fantastic in 2 games is all. But he's a really good player. And who's my fifth starter? Oh,
Dupree McBrayer.
McBrayer is not a bad player either.
So they're 15th in the country?
Yeah, they'll be moved up because they wanted Providence. Anybody who got beat ahead of them, they'll move up because Providence is supposed to be okay. They're supposed to
they're a tournament team.
Probably be an NCAA tournament team. So, yeah.
So things are looking up on the basketball front.
Yes, they are. And they apparently sold out their season tickets for students. They're still way down with adults. They announced 9,000 something for an exhibition game, and then 10,000 for the first regular season game. So that must mean they sold about 9. Whatever they announced for that exhibition is probably where their season tickets are. And, their season tickets used to be 12,000, 13,000, and they got all the way down to about 4 or 5.
Does the barn hold less than it did 50 years ago?
Oh, God, yes. The fire marshals. Yeah, when Edgerton won the state title in 1960.
Yeah.
They had 18,100 on Thursday night, 18,400 on Wednesday night, and on Friday night, and damn near 19,000 on Saturday night.
And that was the fire marshal looking the other way?
Oh, yeah, back then. And
you could smoke in the stadium back then.
Oh, yeah, you could. The heaters, the smoke hung out, and all wood.
Yeah.
I always said if a fire had started, nobody would have survived.
No.
Even the players couldn't have gotten off the court, know. It was all wood, but we survived that. But then they came in. They reduced it once to the high 15s, and then they came in again and made them put more aisles in and more more exits and stuff like that so people could escape. It's still a fire trap, but not what it was.
Is that part of the new Gopher complex, the Athletic Village? Is a new basketball arena?
No,
or
no,
we're
no.
in the barn.
No, we're in the
barn.
barn forever. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we love the barn, but the new athletic complex doesn't have any kind of a competitive facility. It's all practice.
I have a question because I was looking at the schedule, Pat, yesterday, and one thing I noticed, because I wanted to see who they're playing in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. They're
Miami.
at home against Miami, but when they start Big Ten play, they host Rutgers and they go to Nebraska, but then they have 4 more non-conference
The Big
games.
Ten changed that this year to get more viewership on the Big Ten network in December. They had such rotten games in December that they now have 2 teams playing conference games. Well, another reason is their tournament is a week earlier so they could play it in the Big East and in Madison
Square Garden. Okay.
They're playing their Big Ten tournament this year at Madison Square Garden, Joe, as they still attempt to convince New Yorkers that they're part of the Big Ten because of Rutgers. Mm-hmm. But the Big East has possession of that arena on what's the traditional last weekend of the season. So they're playing their tournament a week earlier. Whoever goes to the NCAA tournament from the Big Ten will have, if you get beat in the first or second round, you'll have 2 weeks off before you play a tournament game. I don't think it's a good idea. But that's what Delaney doesn't give a damn about competitiveness. He just cares about
the bottom
people
line.
People to watch on TV.
Yeah.
And the Timberwolves won at Utah.
Yes, and they've been very quiet from the Ricky fans today. The Ricky fans who were very upset that how much better Ricky was than Teague. Ricky's been basically horrible the last 5-6 games for Utah, and he was horrible last night. So we haven't heard anything. So,
does he still have a contingent here?
Yes, yes. I got a pleading email from a guy yesterday saying, please write a column pointing out how much more entertaining a much more likable last year's Timberwolves team was than this year's Timberwolves team. And the basic message being this person loved Ricky. But that team won 31 games, right? 31,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I didn't think it was lovable at all. 31 and 51 is not lovable.
No.
It's hard to be lovable. Did you hear about, I don't know if I should tell you. Did you hear about the feud we got going?
No, which one?
Mackie and me.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah.
Intramural?
Yeah. He went after Reavers and me on Twitter yesterday.
Okay.
About our 2-year-old tweets on Richard Pitino. Mm-hmm. Now, with Reavers, he found some really hot takes.
Piping
hot takes.
Yeah.
Maybe under the influence of beer. With me, he had to really manipulate the truth to try to make me look bad. So I blocked him.
Oh, you blocked him.
I blocked him on Twitter. He's and he ain't getting back either. He ain't getting back. There's nothing he can do to get back at my good graces on Twitter.
Well, what's his belief? That Pitino's the answer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the team is
he loves
good.
Pitino.
But the
team is good.
But the problem is, Phil likes to go back when the team was rotten. And we were calling them rotten.
Yes.
And saying you can't do that because you have to respect the process that eventually the team will be good, which is something I despise.
Well, they were 8-23 and had the worst season in the history in 120 years of Gopher basketball. So it stands alone.
Respect the culture.
It stands alone. Well, he can't be culture boy though. Pitino's not a culture.
No.
I will never put Pitino in the same class as Fleckhead. Culture boy. Pitino talks English. He doesn't throw out all that family.
That is true. Yes, he
doesn't throw out. When he says family, he's talking about family.
Talking about his wife and kids.
Yeah. He's not saying forget about me, I love you. Like the jackass is. Fleckenstein. Anyway.
Can Fleckenstein beat Northwestern?
Yeah, Northwestern has won 5 in a row, but boy, they made hard work of it. I was listening in the car, listening to their game with Purdue the other night because I was driving from someplace, and They were making a struggle out of it at home against Purdue, but that coach down there is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about we got our facility.
Yeah.
They're building the thing down there on the lake.
Really?
$210 million athletic facility on the lake.
Really?
Yeah, right at the lake's right across the street.
The lake's not far from the campus.
No, but right across the road there, whatever that North Shore Drive or whatever it is the
Sheridan Road.
This one's even bigger than the one we're building here for the Gophers. So
that surprises me. I would think if anything,
they're all in on football, man.
They must be.
Mm-hmm. They really changed their mind, and I think they're pumping more money into that rotten old basketball arena. It's much worse than the Gopher Arena, Welsh Ryan Arena.
All right, just a moment, Rook. Why don't you take us to the break?
I got to ask you a question.
Yep.
On the 3 to 4 hour on Friday, do you guys want an update from the Brown and Gold store at Wy-O-Mania in Laramie?
These boys aren't here. Friday Football Fun Fest.
Oh, that's right.
It's the Friday Football Fun Fest.
Well, okay.
So
I'll have to call in for it.
So yes, but yes, we do anyway.
Wy-O-Mania. Yeah. Well, I don't get to Laramie until Friday, and then we go immediately to the Brown and Gold store.
You have to.
These have got to be the worst colors any team has ever had. Brown and gold. It doesn't jump out at you.
What do you go there for? To buy T-shirts and stuff?
Well, he goes there to be the chauffeur.
I think
he's
Trace,
the chauffeur.
I think Trace gets a cut. I don't know what the deal is. You gotta order ahead of time if you want certain apparels.
Now this is it, right? This is your last Wy-O-Mania.
Yeah, this is my last one. I had to do one last one. I couldn't have my last taste of Wy-O-Mania being losing 63-14 to Boise State in a blizzard at midnight. That cannot be it. I needed something better than that. So
the forecast is promising.
Yeah,
huh?
40-something. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff, and
you can't beat that. You got an afternoon game.
2 o'clock kickoff. Yeah. So
what part of the state are you in again?
Laramie.
Okay, Laramie.
And the Laramie has the tallest building in the state of Wyoming, Kenny. It's an 8-story dormitory on campus.
I was in Laramie last spring.
What's the capital? Cheyenne?
I believe it is.
Isn't it Helena?
Which is
That's
really
Montana. Wrong state.
Cheyenne
is South Dakota.
Cheyenne is just east of.
No, Huron is not South Dakota. Pierre is South Dakota.
Pierre.
Bismarck.
What did I say?
You said
Pierce.
You said
Pierre.
something else.
He said Piers, which
Bismarck.
is up there by St. Cloud.
That's North Dakota.
Yeah.
Pierce.
Yeah.
Now, do you fly to Denver?
Definitely Pierce.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes, fly to Denver, and the
then
boys will
what?
pick me up.
Oh, then it's a drive. How long of a
I
drive?
don't have to take that.
Doesn't look like it's more than 3 hours.
It's about 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't have to. Well, it depends on if it's snowing or not. But I don't have to take that 16-seater where they make sure they balance the weight, like the time I flew into Cheyenne. And
She was wobbly.
Do you turn in Fort Collins and take 287?
I'd rather fly with Roy Halladay than I was doing there, man.
Do you take 287 into Laramie?
He doesn't know road names, Kenny.
I don't know. We got a bus.
We turned left.
We take the bus. We used to have vans. That's when the drunks were all driving vans, and me finally said, why am I sitting in the back risking my life when I haven't had a drink in 25 years?
Yeah, but who wants you behind the wheel of a van?
Well, me or...
You go through dangerous mountain passes?
Doesn't look like it.
Not really, but we did.
They skirt them. They're
the
on the
one
east
year
side.
we went up the mountain to eat dinner, I think on Saturday night, and got caught in a snowstorm and damn near didn't get down.
Where'd you go? Some Italian joint up there?
No, it was a Snowy River rustic place.
Oh, okay.
Everybody hammered. And then we come out and the bus can't get up the road to get even out of the place. And the guy's down there, he's trying to put the chains on this big bus.
Oh, boy. Yep.
He's jacking them up. He's jacking it up, and his head is underneath the bus.
Oh.
And I'm going, I'm the only one out there, like,
This is why
handing him stuff. And,
Need a wrench? What do you got,
and
pal?
Handing him stuff.
I got I got 5/8 here.
He had the red rear end about getting stuck up there on the mountain. And I went in there and said, boys, 20 apiece, let's go. And I got about $300 and went out and handed it to him.
It made it a little bit
And
easier.
improved his
Didn't
mood.
put the chains on any faster, did it?
That improved his mood substantially.
I believe it was Rook. Help me. The last time Pat went to Wy-O-Mania, we were attempting to get you to call in. We were unsuccessful. So Rook did you calling in saying we lost Hondo. He disappeared 3 exits ago.
Hondo fell out a couple about 3 exits ago.
I think the last time you went, Royce, you were doing the morning show.
No, it was just a couple.
14 was the last time I went.
14.
But then I went about 5-6 years in a row, and I've only been there about twice in the last 7-8 years. So this will be it. I'm done.
That is another Wy-O-Mania first down.
No, another brown and gold first down. And I've been there a few times when we didn't get hoarse, saying there's another brown and gold first down. There were long moments before.
What conference are they in?
They're in the Mountain West, which used to be the WAC, but it's they then divided up, and they're in the Mountain West. Colorado State's their arch rival. Vegas is in it. San Diego's in it. Boise State's the powerhouse. New Mexico.
Is Boise State the team with the blue field?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that.
I don't approve.
I don't approve either. I don't get it.
How about a brown and gold field in Wyoming?
Well, it is usually pretty brown at this time of year because they play on grass, unless they put in turf.
What's their ballpark hold?
30. Probably 30.
So it's a decent ballpark.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not. They don't have suites.
I was going to say, do they have suites?
Well, they got some areas up there that are attached to the press box, but we sit out in the stands. And the bad thing is when you go with Ringlesby, it can be 63-14. There can be 8 minutes left.
He's staying.
It can be minus 10 and blizzarding, and you got to sit there till the damn thing's over.
I do not approve.
It can be him and 12 other people, and you got to wait for the game to get to end.
I'd have a hard time with that.
See, what happened to him is
what
happened to him is he attended school there. He was like me at the U. He didn't graduate, but he used to be a really enthusiastic tobacco chewer, and it damn near killed him. He had like this, not cancer, but he had this attack of almost put him in a coma, and they said, you got to quit chewing. So there was really nothing in his life. So he became I called him a few months later. I says, how you doing without the tobacco? And he says, life is not worth living.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
and so then he became the world's biggest Wyoming fan to make up for chewing tobacco.
Got it.
Yeah, well, that was it. He needed an addiction.
There's no like vape equivalent. You can't. To chew. There's really there's no replacement.
Worst habit.
I got the chew patch, right up here.
Yeah, right.
It's a Skull Bandit.
Have like one of those pins in your lip.
Is he still covering baseball?
Yeah, he works for MLB.com, but his newspaper folded a number of years ago, the Rocky Mountain News.
Strikes me as the kind of guy that would have a drink for breakfast.
No, he's very light. Even in his best days, he wasn't much of a drinker, which separates him from most of the people who visit Wy-O-Mania.
Yeah, see, I've got this image of a drunken brawler in my almost a Hunter S. Thompson.
No,
guy.
not him. Not him. But there's a few there, but not him. Not him. I'm not going to name names.
Right.
Yeah, let's hold back on that.
Protect the innocent.
Good thing it's almost time to go to
There are a
Bruce.
few guys who could use an intervention, but I'm not going to waste my time.
Sports Talk will be back shortly. Here's John Haidt in the newsroom.
That's why we can't have a live video feed in this studio. That's why.
It could be podcast.
No,
Something bad happened?
What happened?
It's just vileness of everything.
Let's bring that on the air.
No,
I would be a satellite radio pro.
Penny's just talking about things that he's an expert at.
I know how to take it way too far.
Duly noted. Points
Howard
awarded.
Stern would be off the air.
Howard Stern would be blushing.
He'd listen to that show go, go, oh my God.
Here's John Height.
Thanks, Joe. Cloudy and 44 degrees. A day off for the Vikings. They'll resume tomorrow as they get ready to play the 7-2 Rams on Sunday. Their GM, Rick Spielman, apparently unhappy with Fox's decision to go with Greg Olson in the broadcasting booth for the Vikings-Rams game. Olson's on injured reserve with a foot injury for the Carolina Panthers. He can return Week 12 against the Jets. The Vikings play the Panthers on December 10th. Spielman reportedly said he thinks it's inappropriate.
Why? I don't get it.
Because he's still on the Panthers roster.
But who cares?
They play the Panthers in a couple of weeks.
What's he going to learn? He's not going to sit in on those informational
that's what he's protesting. Because they come into the
but they're not going to let him do that.
Fox intends to keep Olson on the Vikings game, but they say he'll have less pregame access.
Why would the Panthers sign off on this? He's still an active player.
What do they care? Ratings. We're worried about ratings. We want to help ratings. He's supposed to be a quipster. I think it'll be fun. Who cares? You think it has anything to do with whether you beat the Panthers or not? I don't. Plus, he won't be playing against them, right?
No, that's the week he's supposed to come back, is when they play the Vikings.
No, he comes back on the 10th against the Jets.
Oh,
he comes back Week 12 against the Jets.
Yes, and the Vikings play them the week
December
before that.
10th.
Right?
Okay. I'm not sure what week that is.
Oh, December 10th. Okay.
Yep.
Well, maybe you can give them all kinds of good information.
The Minnesota Wild at home tonight. They're playing the Philadelphia Flyers at the Xcel Energy Center.
Tell them stuff like block Everson Griffin. It's a good idea here. Block him. Matt Khalil. Don't play Matt Khalil against Everson Griffin. That might be the advice.
News notes from today. 2 juveniles in the car when that teen was killed in an Andover hit and run are now facing second-degree murder charges while committing a felony. 17-year-old Tristan Robinson killed Friday night in the hit and run. Police later said they were investigating the incident as a murder. They sought 3 suspects, 17-year-old Davion Maddox, 16-year-old Jaden Meadows, 19-year-old Lauren Gaffner, who police say was driving the car. They were later arrested. This afternoon, juvenile petitions were filed in Anoka County detailing the following events of the alleged drug deal turned robbery. Robinson's friends had told police he stepped outside after playing video games because he thought he heard other friends arriving. His friends in the house then said they heard a dull collision and screeching tires but didn't see a vehicle. When they went outside, they saw Robinson in the street with multiple injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police responding to the scene found a digital scale in the driveway and observed drag marks consisting of hair and blue denim, indicating somebody had been dragged about 20 feet. Police found a Snapchat group message that referenced someone possessing high-grade marijuana. Police say some people on the thread were interested in buying it. Police at that point called in Meadows for questioning, and he told police Maddox and Gaffner picked him up to go get some weed. Told authorities the two told him to get the marijuana and take it. He took the bag from Robinson at the scene, ran to the car. Robinson followed him and tried to hold the door open, but Meadows said one of the other boys pulled out a 9mm pistol and pointed it at Robinson.
Oh, my God.
Robinson grabbed the door handle, was dragged as Gaffner backed up, and then Robinson fell. Meadows reported he heard multiple thuds.
Oh.
Meadows also said Maddox and Gaffner threatened to kill him if he told anyone what happened. Those juvenile petitions filed today. Charges still pending for the driver of the car, Gaffner, who is 19 years old.
Wow.
Worker at the Oakdale Hy-Vee has been charged with 5th-degree criminal sexual conduct after a customer reported he touched her when she was sitting in the dining area. 24-year-old Joshua White of St. Paul charged in connection with the incident. Police called to the Oakdale Hy-Vee 3:54 in the morning to report on the report of an unwanted man in the store. Manager told authorities the man, White, was an employee refusing to leave after a woman reported he groped her. Woman said she sat in the dining area eating an ice cream sandwich, waiting for a ride. Said that's when White approached her. He returned a few minutes later and sat next to her, and she says she was touched by the man. Police said surveillance video shows White sitting next to the woman. His hands are not visible. White told police the woman appeared intoxicated, and he was just trying to help her.
Mm-hmm. Hey, those Hy-Vees stay open 24 hours?
I was unaware of that, but apparently.
Yeah. Really? 24 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I do like me some Hy-Vee, though.
Somebody told me they're slowing down on their here in the Twin Cities, though. They're not going to open as many stores.
That may have been me. I have
never been to one. Hey, do yourself a favor. Sunday sample day is pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to run off to a grocery store on a Sunday for some sample BS.
I did on Sunday.
Of course you did.
Hy-Vee has a great
You're
selection
a idiot.
of chicken breasts. Trust me.
Really?
Okay. All flavored. Very good. Very good.
I concur with Johnny.
Yep. Well, I'm just fearing.
I'll swap you a toboggan.
I'm just fearing that.
How about some ham? You got ham?
I'm just fearing that day when I'm down in Fort Myers, staying down there and working at the Publix.
You banging at Publix?
Be the 83-year-old guy at Publix giving out little weenies. Say, would you like a weenie?
How about a Triscuit? How about paper or plastic? What do you got, Delmer?
These are our new olive-flavored Triscuits.
You make a good greeter.
I would.
You guys would all make good women.
Hey, buddy, buy this. Pat, you would be good suggestions. Like, just buy this and get out of here. Let's go. I'm not talking.
Speaker Paul Ryan said,
Unbelievable. I'll be in the garage welding.
Speaker Paul Ryan said today GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore should drop out of the special election race in Alabama. The Wisconsin Republican said he should step aside.
He's going to win by 8 to 10 points.
Ryan said the allegations are credible. He said if he cares about the values and the people who claims he cares about, he should step aside. A growing number of GOP senators have withdrawn support for Moore, who has remained defiant amid the accusations and has denied the charges. Star Tribune reporting Minnesota making one final push today to have Bloomington selected to host the World's Fair in 2023.
Oh, my God.
As delegates in Paris.
The World's Fair is so irrelevant in modern society.
It's come and gone 100 years ago.
Yeah, nobody gives a damn.
All the delegates are in Paris this afternoon from 130 countries preparing to vote tomorrow on this site. The city represents the U.S.'s bid for Expo 2023 and is one of 3 international finalists vying to be the host city for that year. The other bids, aside from Bloomington, come from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Lodz, Poland.
Go to Poland.
Yeah, give my people something to be happy about.
Was the World's Fair in St. Paul in the late 1800s?
No.
You sure?
Pretty sure. It was in Chicago around then.
If chosen, Bloomington would be...
That was back when they were showing off stuff like electricity.
Right.
And stuff.
If chosen, Bloomington would be the...
Oh, wow. Look at that light.
First
Look at a hot air balloon. Hey!
Be the first American city to host a World's Fair in almost 40 years. Minnesota's World's Fair Bid Committee, Bloomington City staffers, and elected officials arrived in Paris earlier this week. Mayor Gene Winstead said he's excited and looking forward to the vote, saying, I genuinely believe we have a fair shot at this thing.
Are there rides at the World's Fair?
I have
like a Midway?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think they got the old school freak shows,
there's
too.
the ride in the Men in Black. There was the ride out at that was the old World's Fair they were out at in Men in Black, right? That turned into a rocket ship or something.
After years of online pleading and media inquiries, HBO has announced plans to reboot one of its most beloved series, Deadwood, the Western drama that the network scrapped.
Go through this again.
After 3 seasons, looks to have a revival set for production as soon as next year. That word comes from Casey Bloys, HBO's top programming exec, who confirmed to TV Line that creator David Milch has delivered what he calls a terrific script, which they're inclined to do. He told TV Line, the one thing I was concerned about was I wanted a script that would stand on its own for Deadwood fans and non-fans, and David delivered that.
Does Swearingen use the C word? That's what
I'm sure he does.
The big one.
The belongs.
He can put that word inside of other words. He's so good at it.
The series came to a somewhat unsatisfying note, ending in 2006.
No, they stopped it before it should have been over because the
end was
You know, I have trouble with all those from that period of time because the lack of hygiene bothers me.
Yeah, and there was a distinct lack there.
I just don't like the lack of the streets are all
They were hunched over in the
their
street.
hygiene.
That's why you don't want to bring back horses.
Yeah, right. They poop out the street.
Well, so are the humans.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And there were activities going on where you don't want a lack of hygiene
That's
in
right.
that
That's
television
the
show.
trouble. That's the trouble.
You're right.
Like this, what is the great series
Game of
that
Thrones?
everybody watches from England from 100 years ago? Pinky
Blinders.
Oh, Pinky Blinders.
Yeah, I can't
Pinky
watch
Blinders.
that either because of the lack of hygiene. It bothers me.
Huh.
You know, Pinky Blinders is filmed in Birmingham.
Birmingham.
So you're call up Will one of these days and get him.
I'm
going to
go see Will.
how he's doing.
You're talking movie, right, John? This is going to be a
It'd
movie?
be a movie, yes, a Deadwood movie for HBO.
But the script is
not
done.
The series. The script is done according to, and David Milch, the guy who did the original Deadwood, is responsible for the script.
That guy is a madman, but a genius.
I ended up in a Twitter discussion thing yesterday with David Simon.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's he?
The Wire.
And because he was belittling some right winger, and I had responded to this right winger in some way, and then I ended up, I don't know if he thought I was so I just tweeted him back and said, "Prop Joe forever," but I never got a response from him. My favorite character
trolling
from The Wire was Proposition Joe.
In Virginia, middle school students in a home economics class were mistakenly given a worksheet that quizzed them on what an extramarital affair was, as well as what the terms boy toy and trophy wife were. WTVR reported that the teacher at the school outside Richmond, Virginia, had downloaded the worksheet from the internet. The superintendent for Hopewell School said it was never supposed to be part of the curriculum.
Hey, where'd you get the trophy wife?
Attaboy.
Parents at Carter G. Woodson Middle School were angry. The family quiz worksheet was assigned in a family and consumer science class. It began with easy questions. What do you call the father of your father? But questions also asked, what do you call it when a married person has a relationship with someone else? And then, what do you call the much younger boyfriend of an older woman?
Mm-hmm.
I've got jokes for all of those.
Yep, I could tell by your grin.
Satellite radio, my friend.
Lucky.
A notorious Florida con man will serve his 20-year sentence in solitary at the infamous federal Supermax prison at his own request.
Huh?
Federal judge granted Jimmy Sabatino.
Boy, she must really be tough to live with, huh?
Federal judge granted Jimmy Sabatino's request during a Monday hearing in Miami. South Florida Sun-Sentinel said Sabatino told federal judge Joan Leonard the only way to stop him from committing cons is to keep him from contacting the outside world. He's pleaded guilty to running a $10 million fraud from his cell at Miami's federal jail, where he is being held for an earlier fraud. In his latest con, the 41-year-old Gambino crime family associate used smuggled cell phones to dupe luxury retailers to send him jewelry, watches, and other items to him and outside co-conspirators. The Supermax Penitentiary in Florence, Colorado holds the nation's worst criminals.
Jimmy Sabatino is a smooth talker, is what they're telling us.
Exactly.
So what does he want to do? He wants what?
He wants no contact with anybody.
He went into the Supermax prison, the big one where they hold
that in itself seems like a con. What angle is he working?
Yeah, what's he playing?
Yeah, he's got something cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Parents,
I swear I saw this in an episode of Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, they put LeBeau in the cooler.
Parents in Farmington, Utah are petitioning to change the name of a new high school mascot out of concern that when their children cheer from the sidelines, it might sound funny. After Farmington High School's choice of mascot, the Phoenix, was named November 1st, Kyle Fraughton, a parent of future Farmington students, joined his neighbors to practice cheering for the new team.
Huh?
The group tried cheering for Phoenixes, but the plural form didn't sound right, Fraughton said. So a quick online search revealed an alternative pluralization, which is Phoenuses.
Phoenuses, okay.
That won't work either.
Especially if you say it 3 times really fast to yourself.
They tried the cheer again, and Fraughton wrote on a petition, "We were horrified to hear that the phonetics of the word penises are far too close to the word penises."
Sure. Right.
Mm-hmm. The mascot, of course, is the mythical Firebird, said to be indestructible as it regenerates itself.
Why'd you go with Firebirds?
That's a good question.
Easier to say.
Yes, it is.
He did reach out. The petition got 2,600 signatures and 300 comments. In the petition, Fraughton says that while some say the school will refer to the mascot in the singular form of Phoenix, he said it's grammatically incorrect and will result in a never-ending barrage of vulgar insults from rival fans.
You could say "Go Birds" then.
No, it's
Firebird.
rising from the ashes. Look at all the penises.
Hey, Kenny, you brought up Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
The great thing about that show was the great variety of plots that they had.
Yeah. It involved getting out and coming back in.
Right.
I told you I was on that set one time.
Duping Colonel Klink. That Colonel Klink, boy, he was a real dumbbell.
He changed his
That set
shtick.
cost him about $12.
Yeah. But who hasn't wanted a stump in their backyard that you could open the top in and crawl down into your basement? That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, somebody used to do a bit saying, "Can you imagine the pitch for that show to the network executives? Here's what we got.
A wacky prisoner of war camp.
World War II prison camp.
Yeah, Nazi prison camp.
And when Werner Klemper, the Colonel Klink actor, when he took the role, his family, because of their Jewish heritage, was very upset that he was playing a Nazi corporal or colonel.
But he wasn't making us respect the Nazis.
No, once they saw an episode, they understood he was mocking them.
Authorities say a naked Florida man burst into a woman's home, ran around inside, and then tried on some of her clothes before he was finally arrested.
Was she home, John?
She was to start with, yes. The Daytona Beach News Journal says 40-year-old Joseph Vaglica is charged with burglary with assault and is jailed on $25,000
I've
bail.
always wanted to be that intoxicated. I've never been able to reach that level where the clothes come off and I just go berserk.
Hell, you could do it up there by the farm. They wouldn't even think anything of it.
Nobody in there. He's just out grilling a hamburger. Nothing.
That's basically what he does already.
Yeah. He's going to walk by trail cam again.
Have you seen your trail cam hookup? Kenny'sTrailCam.com.
Police say Vaglica entered the woman's home through the garage door and then ran through the kitchen, acting irrationally with no clothes on. The woman ran out of the house and ran to her stepson's house next door and called 911. Investigators say Vaglica went into a bedroom, tried on her clothing, then ran back outside toward the stepson's home. When police got there, he was rolling around on the grass naked.
That is fantastic. That is my life goal.
What was his drug, John?
They don't say if he was intoxicated or drugged. They do say he has numerous other arrests, most of them for drug charges. So probably had something to do with that.
I went back and watched the Billy Joe Shaver episode of Tales from the Tourbus, and the Grateful Dead. He was supposed to play for the Grateful Dead, but he was a day late. But they left him a roll of toilet paper, and he said, "What's this?" And they gave him a roll of toilet paper that on each sheet they had a dab of LSD on it.
Wow.
That was the gift they gave him. But then the other thing
How
is,
many squares? That's like a couple
a big
hundred
roll of
squares.
toilet paper.
That's a lot of work. Keep you busy
The
for a
other
year.
thing is, Willie and Waylon were his buddies, and they'd give him a variety of drugs, and then watched how he reacted to see whether they'd
To see if they wanted to use
Well, you have to realize this.
Waylon and Willie'd sit there smoking pot and see what he did.
LSD is man-made, and it's got strychnine in it. You never want to be the guinea pig. You got to find some dummy like that
Where do
to
I
try
find
it out.
this here?
The second mouse gets the cheese.
Cinemax.
Yeah.
Cinemax. I don't think I got Cinemax.
Yeah, you probably do. If you got
there's,
HBO, you got
You do, Joe.
There's also, I don't know if they address it, Patrick, but he shot a man once in a bar
Yes,
fight.
he
Do they
did.
address
I
that?
shot him in the cheek.
In the
He says, I shot him right between the mother and the bleep. And he didn't. I'm not going to say what else he said.
Jerry Jeff Walker wrote a song about that and ended up getting called into court because he had details about the shooting in his
What's this
song.
guy's name?
Billy Joe
Shaver.
Shaver.
But
It's a
there's
really
8
good song,
episodes
right?
of it. It's terrific.
Are they all about Billy Joe?
No, they're about different crazed country western guys.
All right. Okay.
What do you got on the ride, bro?
Oh, man, we got Tim Yoder for Viking Update, giving his view on Case and Teddy and all things that are wonderful about the Vikings right now. And then Rich Gannon with our weekly conversation, which will be great, as always. And then we're also, at the top of the hour, going to report how a couple of feuds are working out, one in the NBA and one a little closer to home.
Ooh, I heard about this very controversial one that is a little bit closer to home, and I don't know how it's going to play out.
No, well, we don't know either, but somebody needs an apology in this feud, and we'll just see how it works out.
All right, we can handle that.
Yes, we can handle that.
And the Wild prediction tonight. The Wild bounce. Is Zucker the only guy that scores tonight?
Yeah, but that's enough. He gets a Hattie, and it's 3-2. Who we playing? We're playing Philadelphia again. What's the deal? We're not in the same division, the conference as them, and we play them back to back. I don't get it.
We are now the Philly ambassadors.
I don't quite get it.
All right, the ride is next. Patrick Royce, 1500 ESPN is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis. It is, 43 degrees, Johnny?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare is here, and so is Mountain Dew.
Roger that.
Now you can unlock in-game rewards like only Dew can.
Wait, what rewards?
A Dew Operator Skin.
Man, I love operator skins.
Dual double XP, and even Call of Duty points.
You're kidding me. Double XP and Call of Duty points? This is incredible. I can't believe it.
Soldier, Get a hold of yourself.
Oh, roger that.
Look for specially marked packaging and visit mtndewgaming.com for details and restrictions. Open to U.S. residents 17 plus. Call of Duty points available on 12 and 24 packs and free 28-23.